welcome back to the Pooj Show. Today we have a guest that I met last month, Nino. So he's there at the moment in sunny Dubai, and we're here in the cold UK. So today's podcast we'll be discussing about a journey of a bodybuilder, and we'll be touching on how to sort of like insights of being a fitness influencer. So before we sort of take off and get into the podcast, I'm just going to hand it over to Nino to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about his background and what work he does. Thank you, Nino.
First of all, thank you very much for having me. Just to tell you a few words about me. Born and raised in Romania. I was a professional rugby player for 18 years. For the past 5 years in my career, I was leading the Romanian national team as a captain. So I was playing rugby sevens, traveling all over the world, playing international tournaments. And currently, right now, I had to stop rugby because of an injury, lower back injury. And currently now I'm in Dubai working for the Dubai government as a fitness expert and nutrition specialist.
Okay, thank you for that. So if you could, so in terms of, obviously you said that you changed, so you went from being a professional rugby player, and then obviously now you work as a fitness specialist within Dubai. So if you could sort of give us some from obviously, because it's quite a career change, isn't it? So if you can sort of give us some insights on challenges you sort of encountered from the career that you had previously, and then sort of what you do now as well.
Well, absolutely. Well, it wasn't easy because as a professional rugby player in my situation, you are used to a certain lifestyle, you are used to do a certain job, and when things happen, you get an injury or something, then you have to completely change your lifestyle, your environment, everything. And as a human being, you can always adapt. It's never going to be easy, but it is what it is. And the challenges that I faced personally, is that I had to change the country, I had to change the life, I had to change my lifestyle, my job, my everything. My people, because I left behind the Romanian national team. Great teammates and my family back home, my country, and then I had to move to a new country like Dubai. I had to adapt to Dubai. This was 8 years ago. I'm grateful that I did this change. It wasn't easy, but I'm so grateful and happy that it happens, because as we know, everything happens for a reason. That's true. And then you have to find a job, you have to start somewhere. And then luckily I study, I was into sports, and this is how I became a fitness expert right now for the Dubai government.
No, of course. So going back, when you said you have to also change everything, so it's in a way you had to sort of start from scratch again, isn't it? Everything, your location, the people around you, the sort of country that you moved to. So everything was basically, you had to do everything from ground zero again, isn't it? And build yourself back up. And I think that's what happens with sometimes obviously at that time you had the dream of you was professional rugby player, and then I think it's about dream versus reality, isn't it? Sometimes I think we think that, okay, this is what we're going to do, but then there's always a different path for us sometimes. So I think like you said, things always happen for a reason, isn't it, as well?
Well, definitely, you know that I always said, because I was into challenge sports, discipline, struggle since I was a child, right? I started playing at 9 years old, and I always said that nothing will stop me. I mean, it always can get worse, it always can get better. It's never gonna last forever, even if it's better or it's worse. So I always said that only if I lose my life, then I will stop. Otherwise, you know, there are people, they lose one leg.
No, it's true.
They're still moving on, you know, with their life. So there is no excuse. Definitely, it's not easy. Mentally, it's a challenge. But again, you have to take any challenge as a training. The way you challenge yourself in the gym, for example, in my situation. So You challenge yourself in the gym, you become stronger. You challenge yourself, in your daily life, then you're gonna become mentally stronger eventually, And this applies in every single field, even if it's a career, if it's a personal relationship, whatever,
Yeah, no, it's true. Exactly what you said before as well. I think sometimes we forget when we're put into certain situations that it could be worse, and also it's not going to last forever, because it's like we're going through like a phase and a transition that we need to come out of. And it's true, there are people out there that are in worse positions. So at the same time, like, I know it's hard at that time, we probably don't think it, but we think, okay, you know what, maybe we're grateful that, we're still in a decent position. And obviously, like you said, you had the background, you had the experience in sports, and obviously education as well, and knowledge. So you sort of like took that and you thought, okay, so what can I do with this? And you like implemented that in a different way, isn't it? And obviously, again, we're talking about your mindset and mental health, because that's a very big thing, and no one else would understand except for you, because you was going through that, isn't it? So
Well,
for you to come
I
out
will tell
like
you,
very
I will
strong.
tell you a story that happened with my therapist.
Yeah.
Was a couple of years ago. I was sitting with her, and I'm not the kind of person that I'm gonna share my past easily, or
Yeah.
my struggles. But obviously, when you're talking with a therapist, then it's different.
Yeah.
And then I was telling her everything that I passed through, and she's like, "How this made you feel?" And I was like, "I don't know, sad." She's like, "No." "Maybe lost?" She's like, "No." "It made you feel weak?" I was like, "Yeah, somehow, yes."
Yeah.
"And what you choose to become?" I was like, "I don't know." She's like, "Look at you." I was like, "Strong?" She's like, "Right." That's right. So you see, every single struggle, every single problem that you had in life makes you stronger. Physically, in my case, mentally, everything, right? So I'm at that point when you pass through it, and you say it's difficult, but then you have to. I think it's good to be grateful for it, because it made you the person that you are today. It builds you up. And then you have the example of people that they struggle. Most of the successful people in the world, they struggle at some point in their life, more or less. And everyone has a story at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I think if you don't have a story, I think that then when you do sort of shine and, become successful in whichever field you're sort of like have your desire and passion, then I think if you don't have that background story, then people don't really connect to you as much, isn't it, as well? Like, it forms a connection between either clients, people, networks. So I think that because of that, it builds like, certain relations. So I think that's important as well. And it's something that you can tell people, I've been through this, I've come out of it, and this is this is a result now. So it's like, you're proving to the world in a way that you can do it, and you're sort of capable, even though things don't go your way, or it doesn't work in your favor, some things, isn't it, as well?
Well, I think it happens. It happens even to you. It happens to everyone. You come to a story and you say maybe mine is the worst, and then you sit with someone casually, maybe in a restaurant, coffee shop, and they share with you a story, and maybe you're never gonna see them again, and they share with you their story, and then you realize that you are actually much better than them. You can just reframe what you had, and you're still gonna be in a slightly advantage comparing to them. So, as I told you, everyone has a story. Some people, they struggle even more than us, and the beauty of life is that you never see this unless they're gonna share it with you.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. And the thing is, there's so much. Unless you only know when someone discusses with you, or someone else told you about someone else's story. Like, obviously, when we met back in February, and then I told you a little bit, obviously, what I went through, and then obviously you shared your story as well. Even now, to be honest, I went back to that same place, but then I just thought I have to come out of it, because I thought to myself, like, again, like what you said, there are people out there that are in worse positions, and it's like we've got everything on our plate. We just have to reorganize and reprioritize what needs to be done, and then sort of like restructure everything. So yeah, it's true. I think in that moment of time, you don't think, isn't it? You think, oh, this is everyone feels sorry for me.
When you have these kind of moments, you always have to sit and you ask yourself, it can get worse. Well, definitely, it can get better, of course. But then it's your choice, right? In life, it's all about choices. It's your choice what you decide to do. You decide to sit and be like anyone else, or the majority, or you stand up for yourself, and then you're gonna become successful. And then I think the best thing is to connect with people around you, especially the one that they have a good energy, and the one that they can fill up some gaps that you really need it. They can meet your needs, and at some point they can make you happy, or they can add value to your life. This is what I've tried for the past, let's say, 4 or 5 years, because after 30 you become a bit wiser, let's say.
Yeah.
And I start to connect with people that they really have value, like business people, business advisor, specialists in their expertise. And my life changed.
Coaches, even our coaches, they kind of push us in the right direction, isn't it? And you are right on that, because when I think it was a few days ago, when I kind of told my friend like what's been happening and why I feel a certain way, and she just said, you just need to talk. And she's like, you need to kind of use good people around you to sort of not use them in a way that is spiteful, but use them in a way that, to kind of, like you said, fill the gaps. Because you can tell one person your problem and they see it from a different perspective, and then maybe give you ideas and just like advice to make you feel better. And then you think, you know what, like, why am I even feeling this way? Like, I can get out of this, I can push myself, and just get back to what needs to be done, isn't it?
True. We always say that it's not about using them, but love, it's rarely that you're gonna find unconditional love. Everyone wants something, even if it's your spouse, your partner, your business partner, or whatever. There is an exchange at some point. It's a quiproquo, right? You give something, they give you something. Either if it's I don't know, peace in your life, or it's an advice that they can change your business, or whatever, an emotion. When you need them, they are there, and then you're gonna buy them food, whatever. But there is always an exchange. There is always happening, and it's normal. This is life. It's really rare that it's, maybe I told you, maybe your parents, they're gonna love you unconditionally. They don't care what's gonna happen to you. They're gonna be there no matter what, right? But otherwise, people that are around you, it's normal. You use them, they use you, and as long as there is a fair exchange, why not?
Yeah, no, of course. I think as long as there's a good balance of give and take, I think that's the main thing. And also, got that mutual respect as well. I think, because like we said, like, we're here on this earth to sort of learn from each other. So it's like, if like, we've got some knowledge, you want to pass it on, or like there's an opportunity, you sort of bring people in. So I feel like, that's like in another way, obviously helping each other as well, because you just don't know whose life you can kind of change at the same time.
Sure.
So, and it makes a big difference, and obviously without knowing, that's your good karma then, isn't it? So of course. So so obviously, like, going through transitions, and obviously keeping that sort of like your mental health intact is obviously the most difficult. I've always said to people that going to the gym or training like our body and stuff, can be difficult sometimes, but training your mind is one of the most difficult things that I've sort of learned over the years. And because with that, it's practice every single day, and you can't ever sort of give up on it. And it's kind of dangerous, because you can fall back into the negative thoughts and create that negative energy for yourself and whatnot as well, isn't it?
True. And it's everything starts and ends here. So definitely you have to start the day, and your life should be full of positive energy, let's say. And then we luckily in 2023, I think that we have something that wasn't available, let's say 30-40 years ago, which is you have all these kind of tools around you. You have yoga, you can do meditation, you have therapists, you have this and that, you have songs, you have videos that they can put you up, put you down. You have foods that they can improve your mental state, and maybe sometimes help you with your emotion, regulate your emotion. So I think we are blessed to have all these kind of tools around us. We just have to know how to use them.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was going to say, even our cat, our pets, because they make us feel better as well.
Sure.
No, of course, and I think what it is with most people, we don't know. I think we ignore what's in front of us. Like, there is support, there is help, there are ways of getting out and sort of like improving yourself and becoming better. But I think sometimes people choose not to. I think sometimes they want to choose another path. So I think it depends on the person as well. Like you said, it could be worse or it could get better. And I think it's up to them, isn't it, on what they want to sort of do. So I always realize, like, this, our mental health and this space is, it sort of like links to everything that we do. Like you said, if it's a business, your career, a relationship, and whatnot.
By the way, as a funny fact, I read I think a couple of years ago, and a book, and it was saying that when you get born,
Yeah.
as a baby, your mental health is depression. So mental state is depression, literally depression. So it's where you start on zero, right? You start on
Yeah.
depression, and then everything you are doing on your daily routine, everything you are achieving, it's adding to your happiness. So you are building up. Like, for example, you're gonna book now a flight to Dubai. That's gonna give you some happiness. If you're gonna
Yes.
buy cruise,
It
it's
will.
gonna add to your happiness, right?
Yeah.
You have a good meal, it's gonna add. You're gonna feel a bit more happy. You're gonna trigger your hormones. You have a good relationship or a good business or a good podcast in your situation. It's always gonna add. So, but otherwise, if you're gonna remove everything, your mental state is gonna be depression. That's the zero light. Right?
Yeah, no, it's true. And you are right in that. It's like you have a good meal, you feel like, oh, that food was so great. And obviously, booking a holiday, that's another thing. And yeah, no, it's true. It's true. They do add, and it builds and builds. And then when they sort of get taken away, yeah, you are back to ground zero. And then you think, okay, what do I have to sort of like, not what do I have
The
to be
mistake
happy?
that people does is that sometimes they build this, let's say, happiness based on
Yeah.
someone or on
Yes.
materialistic things. And
Yeah.
the thing is that you can always lose them, right?
Yeah.
But imagine if you build this mental state on something that it's always depending on you, right?
Yeah.
If it's a business, if it's the way you look, right? Because
Yeah,
if you're happy with the way you look, you're gonna be happy
Yeah.
overall. So if it's let's say you have a good workout, then you're happy. So everything that depends on you, it's much easier, and let's say it's gonna last longer than if you build your happiness based on a person or materialistic things or a car or whatever. You can always
Yeah.
lose.
No, it's true. And that's what I've always said to people. I think in terms of obviously, when they put happiness in other things and people, that's more, I realize, people pleasing society. So they sort of like want to please other people. Except instead of like thinking, okay, so what will please me? Like, how can I work on myself? They just kind of put, their time and effort with things that won't even contribute to. It'll be short-term happiness. It won't be long-term. So if you put that love and effort into yourself, like you said, appearance, building yourself educational-wise, career-wise, business-wise, it stays with you, isn't it? It's yours, and you've achieved this, so is you, so you're content and you're at peace. But then if you put that elsewhere, it would just stay there for a little while because no one really appreciates stuff.
True.
So yeah, so is that as well. So yeah, so moving on to the next question. So if you could please give us sort of insight on, obviously, so you told us about your career journey, and then you went into as obviously a fitness instructor. So obviously, so if we're moving from like, obviously, because you're a fitness instructor, but then you're also obviously a fitness influencer. So if you could sort of like, so I know obviously it came hand in hand, like obviously with your journey, sort of like tell us about your journey, and then also tips, sort of like from past experience, like what people have told you to become like sort of like better, or you can do things better as well.
Well, obviously, my journey starts when Instagram pops up. So this is like, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years ago, when Instagram started to, gain a bit of recognition, let's say. And then I start to be on that platform. And I think I'm a bit, let's say, fortunate because I was an ex-rugby player, former captain of Romania national.
Yeah.
So somehow people, knows me back home. I went in a couple of TV shows, one of the best probably in Romania.
Yeah.
And then it's also important because people are asking me how do you get followers. It's also important to hang up with the right people, and if they have if they have followers, for example, you just take a picture with them, you're gonna tag them, they're gonna repost you, and then people they're gonna follow you. That's how it works. You're always gonna exchange these kind of things, doing podcasts, videos, sharing workouts, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think the most important thing, no matter what you're gonna do, is to add value. So bring something. I think it's good if you can choose a niche, something that you're good in. Let's say in my situation, it's fitness and nutrition and whatever comes with fitness. So when you add value, for example, one makes sense for me now to share when I'm going. I'm not going often, but when I'm going to let's say to clubbing, to party, right?
Yeah.
Won't add any value. People, they are not following me for this. They are following me to see my workouts, my nutrition, motivational quotes, my daily life, the way I recover. For example, I'm going to do ice bath, massage. So people are following. This is the niche that I have and I choose, right? won't make sense for me to add I don't know, commercials about banks or things like that, because it's not necessarily my niche, you know.
Yeah.
Of course I had here and there some collaborations. I was brand ambassador for some brands, but somehow I fit them in my daily life, right? Because I had to do a show or something with them, and then I say, okay, I'm doing this and I'm using this in my, you know, daily routine. So I connect. But you know, you have to add value. You have to add value, and be another thing, be genuine, right? So for example, I'm not going to share with you, and I'm not going to promote a product that I'm not going to use it, or I don't trust it, right? So if I share with you a protein powder, or I'm telling you that I'm going to work out in a certain gym, or I'm wearing certain brands, you know, in a gym, that means I feel comfortable in that brand, or that means that protein powder is it's what I'm using daily, and I like it, and it has good nutrition facts. So you have to be genuine, and people, they're gonna gain trust, and then they're gonna follow you more and more, because they use the protein powder, and it's really what you said, right? So they're gonna buy it, and then it's like, okay, let's see what else brings to the table, and they're gonna take the next thing, and this is how you do collaborations, and brands are trusting you. And the best thing as a fitness influencer, that it's another mistake that I saw often, that they are jumping from brands to brands. Like, for example, meal prep companies. I had for the past 6 years only 2, but because the first one closed down, I will never change, no matter what happened, because they were fair with me. It was a fair exchange, good relationship. I will never change, but they closed in the lockdown, in the Corona. So during the pandemic. But otherwise, I will never change. And with most of them, I will tell you something. With most of them, I don't even sign an actual contract. It's just a verbal agreement. Why? Because they trust me, and I have a word, and you have to be a man of word. So that's when you have the core values, then I think it's easy to become a fitness influencer or whatever, expert in your field.
Yeah, so I think, no, you are correct in that, because people do see that, like, your morals and principles, because then again, because of that, it builds trust, and then it also shows obviously how you are as a person as well. Can I sort of collaborate with this person? Can I can I be a client? Can I give them trust them enough to give them money, or take me from this position to that position in my fitness career? So I think people, they have to kind of like warm up to you, if that makes sense, isn't it?
Sure. And if I had to add something, I will give you an example. I started my collaboration with a well-known clinic here in Dubai. They're doing massage, a lot of chiropractors. And the first time I sit with them, with the owner, she's like, I like your profile and things like that, but this is the only thing I can offer you right now. Like services, it's a barter collaboration. I can offer you services, and I was like, okay, no problem. I mean, I'll try to help you, to promote you. You're gonna help me as well, with the services that you're gonna offer, and later on we can discuss. If you're happy with the relationship, we can discuss about having a monetary reward, right? And they really appreciate that, because there are people, they might not even have the same number of followers that you have, and the first thing they're gonna ask is like $5,000, $10,000, and guess what's gonna happen? They will end up having no collaboration on their page. So when well-known brands, they're gonna come and check my page, they will see, okay, Nino collaborate with this one, with this one, with this one. I think he knows what he's doing. I want to collaborate with him. And then if he's gonna look at you and you have no collaboration on your page, even if you have a good following or not, but you have no experience, you never promote anything. So he never promote anything. Why I'm gonna ask him to promote my product? So they would rather come to me and have a chat with me than with you. That maybe you are a good brand ambassador, but you never promote anything, because you never accept less than $5,000 or $10,000. Right? So you have to make kind of arrangement, kind of compromise at the beginning till you're gonna launch yourself, to the sky. And then eventually you're gonna get rewarded. And thanks God, I had the opportunity to get rewarded so many times. But you see, I built trust, I built my name, and then it's eventually it's gonna come up.
It's true. It's like you're right. Like you sort of like take like baby steps. So you collaborate.
You take everything in life. You have to take everything. Even if it's work, if it's money, it's an opportunity. You have to take it. I don't miss anything.
Yeah, no, it's true, because you don't know what the opportunity is going to bring you. or connect you to, or what the outcome's going to be like. You just don't know, isn't it? And obviously in that way, it's not what people say is it's a type of risk, isn't it? That, like, okay, let me take this on, but then it's good to take those risks, because like we said, you just don't know where you're going to end up. You just, isn't it? So I think that's one main thing. So yeah, because I realize with a lot of fitness influencers, you're right, they have to find their niche, and then like posting is important. Getting the right coach, because even before this I had no coach, I had no guidance, I'd have nothing. And then obviously then I got myself a coach. Even like little things, like I didn't know how to sort of like even posting pictures, when to post, and like you said, stories. I would post things that were irrelevant to what I do. So now obviously everything has to be relevant, everyone has to be like motivational and whatnot. So it's like there's always, as you go on and you change career paths, there's always so many things that you can learn, and then obviously make yourself better at the same time as well. And obviously I've got so much to learn anyway, because I've only been in the space for like a short period.
We all have to so much to learn,
Yeah, no, of course. So let me just see if I've covered all my questions. Yeah, so no, the last question, obviously, before we sort of go into the rapid fire questions, it just obviously how you sort of maintain your physique. So like tips on maintaining, and then like how many times you sort of work out food wise. I know obviously everyone's body is different, but just like general sort of like tips that you would sort of like give if someone is
I
yeah.
really it's not a rocket science. Everyone knows
Yeah,
what is healthy, what is unhealthy. Sometimes
yeah,
even my clients, even my friends, they're funny. Like, should I eat this? Should I eat that? I mean, it's unhealthy, or it's healthy. You
yeah,
shouldn't ask me.
yeah,
If you're eating healthy, and then during let's say a month or two, there's no change in your body composition, then I might help you how to reduce a bit of calories. But I have to see that your commitment, that you're eating healthy. So yeah, just to make my point is, well, I think I reach at the point where I have somehow a healthy routine. Doesn't mean I'm not eating sweets, or I'm not going in a cinema and I have a caramel popcorn.
yeah.
I do have, but everything in life should be balanced.
Balance, yeah,
So, well, in nutrition is not so much balance, because you have to literally go 85-90% clean, and the rest
yeah,
10% you can just have fun in your plate or whatever.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, working out for me, for example, it's a medicine, it's a therapy. If I don't work out, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'll go crazy, for
yeah.
sure.
Of course,
So
yeah, 100%.
you see, it's like I have a virus. I can't miss let's say 2-3 days without working out.
Yeah, yeah,
So if I take a rest, it's because it's most needed. Thank
yeah,
God I had no injuries for the past 7-8 years,
yeah,
so I didn't have to stop. The longest I stopped, I think, was 2 weeks after a competition, after a show that I did, which is required because you really push your body to the limit.
yeah,
But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I'm lacking sleep. That's my only problem. I
yeah,
recommend to everyone to sleep 7-8 hours, and whenever I have time to sleep, it's really game changer for me.
yeah,
But eating healthy around 80-85%, being on deficit of calories if you want to lose weight, reduce a bit your portions if you want to lose weight, or add a bit more if you want to eat a bit more if you want to gain weight. Going to the gym, people are sometimes they're gonna come and tell you, no, I'm not going to the gym because I don't feel like I'm stressed and I'm sad. But that's exactly why you should go to the gym.
yeah,
There
yeah, of
are
course.
there are like 3-4 therapies in this world, and workout it's one of them. The second one I cannot mention now.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like going to the gym, it's literally a therapy. It's a distress therapy. So going to the gym, working out, sleeping 7-8 hours, eating the right food,
staying
doing
hydrated.
doing as many steps as you can during the day. I know when you sit and you spend your time on the chair, it's a bit more difficult, but this is what you
Yeah,
choose to do in life. And
yeah,
I'm fortunate that I'm, my work it's kind of active, so I'm doing quite a lot of steps.
yeah,
And yeah, you should do. If you choose to work in an office, then you should do a bit more. If you should, push yourself a bit more to do some
yeah,
cardio during the day. It's not necessary to burn. People are thinking that you do cardio because I need to lose weight. Well, the first benefit of cardio, it's actually it comes from the name itself. It's for the health of for the heart health, right?
Yeah.
Vascular health. And then, yeah, of course, you're gonna burn some calories, you're gonna lose weight eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a healthy lifestyle, and you have to you have kind of push yourself
Yeah.
for let's say a few months, and after that becomes a habit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once I start to become to eat healthy and become a healthier person, well, I couldn't go back to eat the junk food every day because I
No.
start to feel sick, bloated, uncomfortable, mentally not well,
Yeah.
not myself the way I look. So you can't. The good thing is that when you change your life, and you become healthier, you can't enjoy really going back.
Yeah, no, you can't. You're so right in that. Even like my body can't take like certain like sugars and like too much salt, like because obviously now you're used to that, isn't it? And obviously, like you said with gym, you have your rest days, but yeah, if you don't go, you just not feel you don't feel depressed, but you feel a bit sad and you feel a bit out of place. Like I haven't done like it's like an addiction, isn't it? Your gym is like yeah, and like you said, you become immune, like healthy lifestyle, gym, and then doing the extra stuff like meditation, yoga, and all of that contributes.
The dopamine that comes with the workout. I mean, at the end of the workout, when you realize that you finish and you complete your workout, the reward and the dopamine rush, of course, becomes addictive after a certain period of time, after a couple of weeks, and
Yeah.
that's it. You can't give up.
Yeah, then you just like you said, you become immune to it, and you just do that throughout your lifestyle, then, isn't it? But yeah, it is getting onto it the first time and pushing yourself. That's what it is, and I've explained that to people, but so everyone is the same. But thank you for that, Nino. Thank you for obviously today's podcast. And obviously it's sad that we didn't do it in Dubai, but obviously that'll be next time. Hopefully I'll come down like end of the year or something.
Yeah, and whenever you come down, I will be more than happy to join your podcast. I really
Thank
appreciate what you're doing, and I don't know if people are telling you often. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Nina. And obviously, it was lovely meeting you back in February as well. But yeah, not a lot of people say it. But obviously, like you said, like only certain people sort of, see what they want to see and say what they want to say to you as well, isn't it? Some people don't want to, say, "Oh, you're doing well," or whatnot. They just have no interest, or they just don't really care. But obviously, like nice people like you say it. So obviously that means a lot as well, because then it shows that okay, yeah, I'm kind of doing something, I'm making a difference as well. So I think that's the main thing as well. But thank you for your time today. So before we sort of finish today's podcast, we're just going to ask you just a few rapid fire questions just to sort of like finish off today. And it just so sorry.
I'm born ready, so
Yeah, you are born ready.
shut your cap for
So
questions.
so the first one was which do you prefer, movie or series?
Movie.
Movies. Okay. Yeah, I would prefer movies as well. Um as in pets, cats or dogs?
Well, I have a cat.
Yeah, but yeah, I know. I didn't know that before until I done this the questions. Okay, so cats as well. And the last one I think you asked you before as well. Do you sleep with your socks on?
No, not really.
No,
But
no. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that insight. So yeah, thank you so much today, Nino, and I definitely catch up with you soon. So I really appreciate your time and also you sharing, your knowledge, your mindset, your experiences, because like sharing, like we said, sharing makes a difference and it can help other people as well. So yeah, thank you so much for today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.